A rundown about the dress code that existed. And if you didn't wear that, if you ain't dressed a certain way, niggas consider you was a herb. You know what I'm saying? That was the secret between African Americans and if you didn't dress like like if you black and you didn't dress like an American black African American gangster. I'm not talking about the white boys and I'm talking about the niggas that was born in New York City. You know what I'm saying? Because other places dressed different back in the 90s because they didn't have like New York City. New York is the fashion mecca or whatever. So basically, like areas like Cali and shit like that, they wore Chuck Taylors, like the niggas that were supposed to be gangsters. They were wearing their colors, like the Bloods and Crips and shit like that. They would wear red Chucks, khakis and shit like that. That's how they dressed. You know what I'm saying? They started to dress like New York niggas after a certain time because other places like LA and down south, they didn't have a lot of like clothing stores that had like fashion. They had like clothing stores had regular, simple shit. They didn't have like, so New York City always had the fashion, the different clothing. You know what I'm saying? Other like I said, down south didn't have. Like I was the time I went down south. Me and my mom's in Florida, and I was looking for a Tommy Hilfiger. This is when Tommy Hilfiger was the fashion back in like 1995, 96. So I went out to, my mom took me on a vacation out to Florida. Me and like my family and she went out to Florida and shit. So we went out on vacation. And I told my mom I wanted a Hilfiger. Like at the end of the day, not all kids had family that got money. So some niggas was brought up having to look bummy because their parents wasn't getting money types. They was in the hood. So I wouldn't expect some people to like my era to know how to dress like that because they wasn't taught because their parents didn't get money like that. They didn't have money like that. So that's understandable. But I see certain rappers like you niggas from my era, why are you dressing like a herb? Cause that's how herbs dress a certain way. Like they dress like they just don't match. Like and like back in it like the era like that, like it had African Americans, but they had other black ethnic groups coming to New York. And when they pulled up, they was immigrants. And when they pulled up, they dressed like they would consider herb because they couldn't dress. They would start wearing, like an African nigga would start wearing colors that represent his country. So, as a street nigga, you know this nigga's not from New York and he's a herb. You know what I'm saying? That's how or West Indian niggas, they'll start wearing colors that was mad bright and the colors represented their country. They don't know how to dress they didn't know how to dress like an American gangster. A black African American gangster, so because they ain't know any better. So that's how we was able to distinguish who was who. And if you ain't dressed a certain way, you would consider it a herb. Period. That's bully material. You might get bullied straight up. And so LA niggas, they were wearing Chuck Taylors and Converses. That was their dress code. And they was like, so when they pulled up to New York, niggas like, oh, these niggas ain't fly, niggas. But after a while, these niggas, the LA niggas started like, New York niggas started emulating hairstyles and shit like that. So they started like, that's when the Bloods and shit, Crips started coming to New York and niggas started like dressing like them niggas. But a lot of niggas like LA, they started like getting clothes that was like, they started having stores that had fashion. They started having stores that had fashion. Because at the shit, like before 2001, you go any motherfucking place. When I went to Florida, like I said, when I went to Florida, I couldn't find any fashion. Me and my mom drove all over Florida looking for fashion, New York fashion. They didn't have that. They had some fucking rinky-dinky clothing. So I was like, oh, these niggas. And I went out there, I was like, seeing how these niggas dress, these niggas is dressing wild bummy. You know what I'm saying? Because they went to New York, niggas consider them to be herbs is the way they dress. You know what I'm saying? Cornball, nerds. So, after a certain time, like after like 2002, 2003, all the states started getting fashionable clothes. And that's when niggas started like dressing more fashionable. But before that time, like these niggas wore khaki clothes. LA niggas wore khaki clothes and Chuck Taylors and Converses. That's it. And whatever, if they were Blood or Crip, they wear fucking a red fucking button-down shirt, or if they was Crip, they wear a blue button-down shirt. That's how they dress. You know what I'm saying? So they stood out as being like non-fly niggas. You know what I'm saying? Niggas thought I was not being fly niggas. So when I see niggas my era, like born in the 80s and 70s, dressing like a certain way, I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you? You know damn well, niggas, if you was around the street, you know you're supposed to dress a certain way every time. Not wearing the same clothes. You got a certain way your outfit is supposed to look. It's like when an artist draws a painting, it looks a certain way, it stands out, it's what it is. When you see an artist drawing some shit that looks ridiculous, I'm like, what the fuck? And you supposed to be a real artist, what the fuck is this? I don't know, it's really hard to explain, but all I'm trying to say is you're supposed to dress a certain way if you was a New York nigga that was lit. And I'm disappointed because these niggas is like Rick Ross dressed like the most closest to how a New York nigga is supposed to dress every time. I mean, niggas start rubbing shoulders with different people. They start like, you know, taking on different. Like after there was like the homos. They dressed the worst. They'll wear a yellow shirt, a purple pair of jeans, and it's like, what the fuck? I done seen homos wear some outfits back in the days, like they even had Versace. Versace came out. The color, that shit looked at like, some of that shit looked at fly, but that shit had mad different colors. So if you wore that, niggas consider you to be a weirdo, because the clothes, they don't match. I don't know, man. It's just these niggas, these rappers dressing like real shitty, and then you think they fly. No, they're not fly. They dress shitty. And it was around for my era, you know, that's not how you're supposed to dress. A lot of motherfuckers didn't have the means to get fly and shit.